boy, the establishment is coming out to stop Jamaal Bowman here in New York. Bowman, the middle school principal, who has gotten a huge amount of momentum, and in one poll, Data for Progress poll, is up over Eliot Engel, who's just, another dime a dozen corporatist. He's the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Let's look, now that Eliot Engel is down, the length that his campaign is going to try and smear Jamaal Bowman.
In Albany, they keep records of taxes. Type in a name. Records show Jamaal Bowman repeatedly failed to pay his own taxes. The state of New York filed 6 tax warrants against Mr. Bowman. 6 warrants. And he still owes thousands. Shouldn't Mr. Bowman pay his own taxes before he tries to spend ours? DMFI PAC is responsible for the content of the...
So what's remarkable about this, not only is Eliot Engel getting a lot of help from Democratic Majority for Israel, which is an Israeli, Zionist super PAC. Intercept also broke that he's getting all this money from a Republican super PAC. Why is a Republican super PAC trying to re-elect Eliot Engel and feel so threatened by a middle school principal? And now they're smearing Jamaal Bowman for the crime of having debt, which, by the way, the district that he's trying to represent, District 16, half of it is the Bronx, some of the poorest areas in the community, which I guarantee you, he'd be representing people that also have debt and might be a little late on his taxes. It's just so interesting that these are the attacks coming out. And by the way, let's give you Jamaal Bowman's response.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is well with you. It's Jamaal Bowman running for Congress here in the 16th District. So Eliot Engel is allowing a super PAC to, put out some negative ads against us. It's fine. We expected it. It is what it is. When you've been beaten at every point in the campaign, the only thing you can resort to is attack ads. So there's this one out talking about how Jamaal Bowman doesn't pay his taxes and he owes thousands of dollars in taxes. And, there have been 6 warrants issued, to Jamaal Bowman to pay his taxes. Why doesn't he pay his taxes? So first of all, they say I owe thousands, and the number is 2,000, not 100,000, not 50,000, not 10,000. That's number one. Number two, I file taxes every year. My balance with the state is 0 right now. What Eliot Engel's referring to, or what this PAC was referring to, is a debt I had from 2004 that I didn't even know about until they started researching and exploring, my background. And now that I know about it, I'm working to pay it off. Like millions of Americans who have some kind of debt in some capacity, you pay it off and it is what it is. So because I owe 2,000, I'm not qualified to be a representative. It's crazy, man. But it's drowning people clutch at straws. And that's what's happening now. So it's a debt from 2004. I just found out about it through their research, paying it off. I've been a city employee my whole life. When you're a city employee, you owe money, they take your money or they fine you and put you in jail. I've been able to save, clear my debt, buy a home. I don't know, but he's desperate. Peace and love, everyone. Just wanted to clear that up. Thanks.
Honestly, I think that's going to help Jamaal Bowman. So, honestly, what is this? Why should this race matter to you? Honestly, any race where you could get a, by the way, the primary is the election, the general election. Whoever wins the primary is going to win easily because it's a Democratic district. You get another progressive, that's another number. That's an additional number to add to the progressive ranks. Right now, you got AOC, Rashida Tlaib, who's vulnerable in her primary, Ilhan Omar, Ro Khanna, Mark Pocan, Pramila Jayapal, maybe a couple others that are kind of, on the line as far as progressive credentials. You get more numbers, that's when you could actually start having leverage. That's when you could actually potentially block some of the terrible things Pelosi is doing. That's where you're able to stop Pelosi driving the getaway car as Trump and McConnell robbed the Treasury. Can't get enough of that graphic. This is how you stop. Now, Jamaal Bowman getting elected it will not give us the numbers we need in of itself, but it's just one more progressive body, not to minimize him because I think he's qualified, to finally start doing some blocking of toxic legislation, to finally take the outside-inside strategy and start making demands and having the numbers to actually hold up some of this neoliberal corporatist crap. So it does make a difference. And it does definitely help set the conditions for more progressives to run and defeat establishment candidates. Then you have Charles Booker in Kentucky. Chuck Schumer has, literally, they poured in over $30 million to Amy McGrath, who, if you watch her ads or seen her in the debate, is a tall, empty glass of water. Military service, that's great, but she ain't proposing anything. I think she's proposing in Kentucky that I'll be the strongest Democrat to work with President Trump. Great. Another enabler. That's what Kentucky needs. So you look at this race. Booker, according to a Data for Progress poll, Data for Progress was pretty on point in the Democratic primaries. Most of the time, their polls ended up, the results were close to their polls. Booker's up 8 points over McGrath, who probably by the end of it will outspend Booker 20-1. But that's not the only interesting part. Not only is Booker up 8 points, McGrath, look at that favorable rating versus unfavorable. It's a minus, I think that 34, it's a minus 35. Favorable to unfavorable. This is the strongest candidate? Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer was lobbying her to run for Senate before she even lost her congressional race because she ran for Congress. It's almost like the Democrats are intentionally picking people they know will lose. Booker's got a, +4. Positive to unfavorable. And I got news for you. The general electorate in Kentucky, my guess is a lot of people still don't know him. Still lacking the name recognition. McConnell, underwater. But McGrath, a minus 35 favorability rating, probably because she's had $30 million, so she has just carpeted the airwaves with advertisements, and the more people see, because she's not authentic, she's not proposing anything bold economically. It's a lot of neoliberal talk about protecting Obamacare and this, that, and the other thing. The more people see her, the more they don't like her. And when Schumer was asked about this, he says, Amy McGrath is our candidate. She's a strong candidate. She's doing very well. And I believe that she'll win her primary, and I believe that she'll give McConnell a run for his money. Well, she'll definitely give the donors a run for their money, as in wasting their money. I think this Kentucky primary is very, very important. It's definitely not going to be the easy task to defeat Mitch McConnell. But it will to show what happens when you actually get a progressive with a bold vision up against somebody like Mitch McConnell. I think it will show the results will be much closer with Booker versus McConnell, a much greater contrast. Eastern Kentucky happens to be very poor. So Booker can bring in a lot of people from Eastern Kentucky that certainly aren't being served by Mitch McConnell. And you never know. McConnell could be taken out along with in a anti-Trump tidal wave, even in Kentucky, where Trump is doing very well. So it will be very interesting to see, because this is still the broader fight nationally between the Hillary Clinton, Obama, Schumer, Pelosi wing of the Democratic Party, which is basically just country club Republicans pretending to be woke, wearing their, what was that? The neck garb they wore while kneeling? Kentacloth, you know, the pretend woke people from Wokeback Mountain. If progressives could take out these primary challengers in 2 primaries, then you have Bowman pretty much winning, because the general election there is the primary, basically. And then you have a real fight. Again, I don't want to be dishonest. McConnell's not going to be easy to take down, but I think Booker would have a shot. As it stands right now, let me go to the polls where they were. So if the elections were held today, McConnell is up 14 over Booker, factoring in a third candidate, but he's up 20 over McGrath. This is Chuck Schumer's pick. This is the person that's gotten $30 million, who's been on air constantly in Kentucky. So Booker, who I'd say a large portion of Kentucky doesn't even know yet, down just 14. I don't want to say just 14. That's a significant amount, but it's not insurmountable. Whereas you have McConnell up 20, and McConnell will just dust off the old playbook that he has run against other corporatist neoliberal Democrat candidates. Wrap them around the head of Pelosi, pump out ads against Pelosi, Obama. That he cannot do that with Charles Booker. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see the outcome of the Kentucky election as well as the New York primary on Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.